Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be talking about why the rich players always seem to get richer when the poor doesn't. And when I say poor, I mean it's someone who has less than 100k. I think having 200k is still a lot of gold. And when I say someone really rich, I mean someone who has more than 50 million. So what separates these two players? Well, firstly, it's really hard to make gold for new players in Arcane Legend. You can see through my videos and learn how to make a lot of gold. For this video, we are going to exclude the fact that gold loot, if you have higher gold loot, you make more gold. You make more gold. The people who have higher, having higher gold loot isn't necessarily what separates the two players from becoming really rich. I think it really factors into your motivation when it comes to who gets richer and who stays poor and who gets like super rich. And the reason I say this is because a lot of players who start the game at the start, they just aren't motivated to achieve to get what they want. The reason a lot of players at the start tends to beg is because they just don't have the motivation to work for something they want. For example, I get a lot of people asking me to buy them a gold loot weapon so they can farm faster. Some ask me to buy them a weapon so they can farm jewels. Some people ask for vanities, and those are the worst type of beggars in my opinion. Those who want money just to buy vanities. It's not even gonna help you become independent. Why? So when it comes to making gold, I think this is one of the most important factors. And this is because there are two types of motivation which basically determine how long you farm before you actually give up on what you originally wanted to farm. So I'm gonna pull up on the screen now two types of motivation, which is intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So if you look here, I have two types of motivation. Intrinsic, which is a motivation that comes from within. So intrinsic basically refers to intrinsic motivation refers to that you just enjoy farming in Arcane Legend. There is nothing more to it. You don't farm because you want to buy something. You farm because you just find farming fun. And these are the type of players who tend to make a lot of gold. And personally, I consider myself to be in this category. So no matter how much gold I have, I'll always farm because I enjoy farming for gold or whatever item it is in Arcane Legend. As you can see, I have an 800 gold loot set, which is extremely high. I'm almost at 98 million on this character with me, and I'm still farming. It's an extremely amount of gold, and I still have 100 million on my stash. But I don't stop here, even though I could buy anything. My 800 gold loot set cost me 150 million, but it can be sold now for anywhere above that to 200 million. So as you can see, I have a lot of gold, and the reason I made it this far is because I worked really hard on farming, merching, and whatever, anywhere, crafting jewels and investing, and whatever ways I found to make gold. The reason I got where I am today is because I didn't make 50 million and say, wow, that's a lot of gold, I'm just gonna keep it with me. No, I invested it to make more gold so I could make a lot more gold. Why do I make so much more gold? Honestly, I don't know. I just make a lot of gold because it's fun to farm with people in Arcane Legend and getting a lot of gold and having the freedom to buy what I want. So this is intrinsic motivation. In terms of what extrinsic motivation is the fact that you want to farm, you want to make 1 million gold so you can buy a vanity you like. Where compared to intrinsic, I didn't change, oh my god. Compared to intrinsic, which is I just make gold because I like making gold, it's fun. Whereas extrinsic motivation is I'm farming gold because I want to buy this vanity. I think, to be honest, I have both. I am a both intrinsic and extrinsic. I have both of the motivation. So sometimes I'll farm like right now. Even though I don't really need more gold, I've got everything I could possibly want right now. But I'm still farming because farming gold is fun. Whereas at the start, when I started, I used extrinsic motivation. So I farmed 1 million gold because I wanted to buy the dragon daggers, or I want farmed because I'll farm 10 million because I want to buy gold necro, or I want to merge something because I like this vanity and I want to wear it proudly. Compared to beggars, they just don't have either. They beg because they want something, but they don't have the motivation to actually work for it. And that is why a lot of the time beggars tend to give up, because once they realize that they aren't gonna be able to make a lot of gold, and that's because they don't realize that they aren't gonna be able to make a lot of gold, is because they're not actually putting in the effort to make a lot of gold. If you don't work for something, it's just not gonna happen. People aren't gonna give you anything just because you can't be asked or you don't know how. I'm sure anyone will be happy to tell you how to farm, but in the end of the day, if you work for it yourself, and that's when you will realize you are starting to get rich. The reason I'm making this video is for any person who asks me for gold. I refuse to give them gold even though I have so much gold, and it is because of this very same reason. If they don't have either intrinsic or extrinsic motivation, they're just not gonna stick to Arcane Legend for long. If I give them 1 million, 5 mil, they will play for a month maximum, sometimes even 2 months, but in the end they will just give up because they don't get the enjoyment or have something to work toward. If I give someone 5 million gold, they'll buy a vanity or farm gold for a while and then just give up. And I just feel like that's really not worth the effort I put in to make gold for myself. And that is the exact reason why I never give gold, and instead I give information so that people can learn to become independent and work for what they want. And if they find that fun, they will stick to Arcane Legend, and if they don't, then they will not stick to Arcane Legend. So either way, in the end, I'm helping them sometimes by not actually giving them gold. This took me ages to realize. When I earned my first 100 million, I gave a lot of gold to many people because I had so much and so forth. But after having a lot of gold, I just realized that the best way I can help someone is teaching them to be independent and farm for themselves. While at the start it's really discouraging, but in the long run it's for their own good. I know a lot of people will disagree with me or won't understand what I'm saying, So if you disagree, feel free to leave a comment down below and tell me why, and challenge my views, as I'd love to. I'm open to changing my mind if someone is convincing enough to tell me why I'm wrong. Do keep in mind that this is my opinion and best of belief on why I think people don't just resort to begging instead of becoming really rich by working for themselves. I've noticed those who have this motivation, they tend to play Arcane Legend a lot longer because it's enjoyment rather than a chore. And that's basically what separates the really, really rich players. So when you say something like, it's normal to have 100 million for all players, it's not because they had some sort of advantage. There has been millions of old players that came and left through Arcane Legend, but it's the people that had the motivation to actually farm and play and had got the enjoyment out of all Arcane Legend had to offer. They are the people who got really this rich. This is something not a lot of people will realize, but I just wanted to bring to your attention why a lot of the old players like myself are really rich in the game. Of course, there are some exceptions. Some are lucky and some are just, various reasons. But I think this is the one major or the main reason why a lot of people are rich and keeps getting richer is because when they do get rich, they don't stop, and at the start they get rich because they have this motivation. It doesn't really matter whether you use intrinsic or extrinsic motivation. As long as you're using either to work for what you want, you will eventually go from being extrinsic. If you're extrinsic, you'll go from extrinsic to intrinsic. When I first started, I didn't really enjoy farming at the start, but eventually I just like doing this stuff, and over time I just got used to it and really like it now. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I was able to provide some insights into why some people are richer than others, and hopefully change the mind of a few beggars to stop begging and actually do something about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.